Welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast with your host, Lorna Poole, sharing the secrets to creating wealth, investing, and that all-important money mindset. To find out more and accelerate your journey to financial freedom, head on over to www.lornapoole.com to get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast. Would you love to gain the knowledge to increase your income? Well, my guest expert today, Tae Lee, is known as the Money Maximizer. She is an international best-selling author, speaker, coach, trainer based out of Birmingham, Alabama. She produces diverse streams of income in the areas of tax, real estate, insurance, and the financial industry. Tae Lee is also the author of other financial literacy books, such as NGB Money Success Planner, NGB Money Success Planner High School Edition, and more. She uses books, her curriculum, workshops, speaking engagement, interviews to spread her financial knowledge so that others can experience successful entrepreneurship with the freedom and money to live life on their own terms. Tae, great to have you here.
It is awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
Maximizing our money. A lot of people struggle in the area of increasing their income. They can have a ceiling around money or what they can earn or how to earn or increase it. What's your advice around that, or how do they turn that around?
Well, one of the ways to turn the money around that they're actually working towards getting is to stay consistent in their business and stay consistent in everything that they're doing. A lot of people start out really strong and they're working really hard. And then when the numbers don't come out as quickly as they want them to or as fast as they want it to, they kind of quit and back down on the things that they're actually doing. But if they continue to stay consistent in engagement and clients with their money, paying attention and within their business, it'll be a possible way for them to actually increase their income.
I like that. And I totally agree. We live in this kind of, we want it instantly. And I know anything I've ever had a success in, it didn't happen overnight.
It takes a while. And I tell people that a lot with their business, like it literally takes a while. You have some people that it happens in the first year, the first 6 months because their business is going to do what it's going to do. But most of the time, it takes 2 to 3 years for your business to actually profit, for you to see the cash flow you want, and for you just to be able to maximize it at all costs.
And you were saying you have streams of income. Why is this important?
Multiple streams of income? Well, multiple streams of income is important because it helps you within different areas. So if you have a business and you're working towards your business, and just say your business has the slow season and you already know it's going to be the slow season, you have other streams of income from other areas to actually help with it. And so for me, I have my business, but I have another stream of income, which is my real estate. And with real estate and being a landlord, I have money coming in from there. I'm not just depending on one source of income, because just depending on one source of income, I'm not going to say it's going to let you down every time, but it can let you down a lot of times. So it's always good to have money coming in from different avenues.
And how does somebody get about building that up or having, yourself, and I know from creating portfolio and financial freedom, having diversity and so forth. How does somebody who's perhaps starting this journey and they want to be where you are, how do they even get to that, like that they can be in that position?
Well, I would say one of the first things they would have to do is research and see what's best for them. Because
and how did you start? How did you get into what you're into today?
I got into the real estate aspect just from being around a lot of people that were in real estate and going out and doing the research to actually see, was it for me and was it something that I actually wanted to do? Because some people everybody doesn't necessarily want to be a landlord, but your strong point for having another multiple stream of income can be some different types of investments. So you always have to literally sit down and see what's best for me when it comes to having additional streams of income. Do I want something that's short term? Do I want something that's long term? Do I want something that has a higher return rate? Like, you have to see exactly what's good for you. You can't just base it off what everybody else is doing, because what everybody else is doing, they may not be telling you everything. And if they're not telling you everything and you try to do it for yourself, and you may realize you hate it. So you always sit down and do the research for yourself to see what additional sources of income will work for you.
I love that you said that, because if you're forcing something, it just doesn't work. You know, if you hear, oh, everybody's investing in real estate, but you know, there's ways around that, not necessarily being a landlord, that you can still be involved in property, and maybe that suits you better, and then you're perhaps, you know, doing direct shares in companies or whatever it is. Everybody has an area they're going to be stronger in, yeah?
Yes, I definitely agree, because I tell people I know a little bit about stock, but I will not tell you everything about stock, because you would probably be upset with me.
Yeah. And what about the areas of tax? What do you mean by streams of income and areas of tax? What do you mean by that?
Well, when it comes to tax and having streams of money in the tax side, it could be getting your refund back, maximizing that to the most, because sometimes people get their refund and they just spend it all. They don't really necessarily do good things with it. So my suggestion is, if you were to get a refund check back, use some of it. You can use some of it for yourself, but then use some of that towards different type of investments that can actually help you when it comes to extra types of money and extra streams of income with money.
And insurance?
Insurance, it depends. Insurance has so many different levels. You have your whole, you have your life. Within some insurance company, you can do mutual funds. So it's just so many different ways when it comes to insurance too. You can put money towards that, and then just depending on what company you go through, because some companies allow you to put money into the insurance policy and then put the additional money to something else, to where it's actually making you money on the back end. So it just really depends on what insurance company you go through and the different types of levels with the insurance.
That it's giving you streams of income.
It will have money. You'll be doing different types of investments. So it's some insurance companies out there where you can give them money for your insurance, but then they may invest some of your money in mutual funds.
Okay.
So you're also investing too. So it's not just one way to do it.
And what do you mean by the financial industry?
You mean when it comes to multiple streams of income?
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to financial industry, that's just a ceiling. So like for me, I teach financial literacy, but I teach different levels of it. So you may have somebody who's just starting out and they're just trying to learn. So a way for them not to even necessarily have a stream of income, but in order to get to that place is they're first learning how to save. And then but it's just not a basic savings. So some people go get a basic savings account and it's 0.01 interest. That's not really necessarily helping them. But then they may say, you know what, I'm just not that comfortable investing right now. So we may say, well, you might want to get a high yielding savings account that'll give you a little bit more money. It's not full-fledged investments, but it's putting you on the right path to actually get there.
Yeah, because whether you're saving or whatever you're doing, it's getting that money working for you, right? Because a lot of people think to save, but their money's doing nothing. It might even be depreciating, right?
Right, because inflation can sometimes be 2% or greater, and you're making 0.01 on your money. You're really, I say, hustling backwards.
I love that word, hustling.
You're hustling backwards because inflation is over here. It's killing everything you do, but you're making literally no money on your savings side. So like I said, everybody isn't just going to jump out and be strong in investments. And so sometimes they have to actually do it step by step. So like I said, maybe a high yielding savings account may be better for them.
What would be an example of a high yielding savings account?
So you can go to an account where they may give you 3% interest instead of 0.01.
Such as what? Bank?
You can do a bank. You can do a credit union. Even T-Mobile has one now to where they have an actual banking and it gives you interest every month. And I think theirs is up to 3%. So it
Okay.
just really depends. It's more than one option. It's not saying you have to stay at one bank and you have to do this, or you have to stay at this credit union and do it. Just I always suggest people to sit down and take a look and do your research, because one may work better for you. But I do not suggest you just leaving all of it and getting 0.01 interest, because that's not going to help you.
And don't a lot of these have a kind of a terms and conditions of, oh, it has to stay there for 10 years, or, what about all that kind of, like, if you're trying to build up savings to invest, you want access to your money. So how do you get around this kind of, these sort of deals that banks make? That savings are never going to make as much as an investment, but yet you want a home to put it in, and it's doing something worthwhile. How do you get around all that?
Well, in order to get around things or investments where they hold your money for 10 years, look for short-term investments.
For savings, yeah.
Yeah, you can do short-term investments. Everything isn't going to be, 10 years. You can always go and look for short-term investments. If you have a banker, or if you have somebody at your credit union, ask them about them, because they can tell you all the different resources that they have within that bank.
Okay, so someone starting off, you're going to teach them how to save. What else? Like, how else do they get to where you are? Like, how else do they get that they're investing in real estate or becoming a landlord? Or
we just give them the basic steps. We give them savings. We give them budgeting. We teach them how to take control of their money and learn how to make their money work for them, and not for them to work as hard for it. We teach them all the basics and the financials that they need in order to do it. And just an example of some of the basics and the financials is, how much money do you have going out versus what you have coming in? So many people don't know that.
yeah, knowing where your money's going. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, I pay bills every month and then I make some money, but I really don't know what it looks like. But when you sit down and actually see what it looks like, it definitely helps you make better financial decisions. It helps you get to the point to where you feel comfortable with your money and you're not living check to check. It helps you take your strategies or what you actually want to do and apply them. And then from there, you're better able to decide what type of investor you want to be.
I like it. And, we're discussing increasing income, right? So say somebody, they're doing their budgeting, they're managing their money, they've got their savings working for them. Increasing income, you hear about side hustles, and you hear about, in my experience, I never found a quick fix. So, somebody who wants to increase their income over time, you would definitely say multiple streams of income, right?
I would say multiple streams of income. I would say decreasing expenses.
Decreasing expenses, yeah.
That's a really big one, because you can make the money, but if your expenses is just as much as you're making, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, one of my ahas when I started this journey was the lady, I worked with. One of the things she really stressed was decreasing your expenses. And I think that's an area that people don't think about.
No, they just think, I'm going to make more money. And since I'm making more money, it's going to help me. But when people make more money, they just accrue more expenses. That's not helping you. The ultimate goal is to make more money and decrease your expenses. And by you decreasing your expenses, you're actually able to have more money.
Yeah, and then that's putting that towards
putting that towards whatever investment. Yeah, to whatever investments they may be. Because I tell people, unless you're just born into some type of wealth, you have to be able to create wealth for yourself and for your family. And in order to do that, you have to invest.
Yeah, I agreed. If you're not investing, or if you're not growing your money and aiming towards financial freedom, you're working for someone else who's doing that for them.
Right. And I tell people, and it's really big because everybody doesn't necessarily know how to do it. And that's why I say sometimes you have to start small and work your way up. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to do it one way and it's only one way to do it, because that's just not true. It's multiple ways that you can do it. You just have to learn how to do it, try to learn from other people that you know, and then decide what's best for you in order for it to happen.
And do you get people as well to think about their dream or their why? Because I know, a lot of people teach this. You need to know what's your motivator.
Yeah, you have to know why you are doing it, because if you don't necessarily know why you are doing it, you may not stick to it. But if you know why you're doing it, it helps within the process for it to happen. So you may say, you know what, I'm doing this because when I was growing up, we didn't have anything. Or, well, I'm doing this because when we were growing up, our family had a lot, but they still didn't teach me everything. So it's just so many different reasons and ways. You may want to do it for yourself. You may want to do it for your family. You may want to do it for your grandkids. So knowing your why helps you stay consistent on your journey.
I think a lot of people as well don't take the journey of developing financial freedom, that their expenses are covered and so forth and beyond that, because they think that it's not possible for them. Like, it's beyond them, that it's too big. Like, I remember starting my journey, one of the biggest ahas I got, a lot of people concentrate on increasing their income, but that's not necessarily everything. What would you say to that? That's a part of it, but a lot of people spend their time. Go on.
Oh, are you saying what do they do if they feel like it's outside of their reach?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't start the journey because they think it's like it's outside my reach.
I think that if you're in a place where you think it's outside of your reach, you have to shift your mindset to know that you can do it. Because I can give you all the tools and I can show you how to do it. But if you don't feel like you can do it, you're not going to really try. So in order to get out of that space, you really have to have a mind shift change, and you really have to want to do it. Because some people just don't want to do it. Or if you feel like you want to do it and you don't know how to do it, ask for help.
Yeah.
You can't do it on your own. It's not possible.
People are interesting because I know personally in my life, like, no matter what your situation is or what you're going through, if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. And you'll get the people around you. And, when someone says, I can't do it, blah, 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 they don't want it bad enough.
Yeah, you really have to want it. You have to want it. You have to crave it. You have to be like, you know what, regardless of all the obstacles that are in front of me now, and regardless of the things that are not going right, I want this bad enough to change the situation. But it definitely takes a huge mindset shift, because when you're trying to grow, it's going to be people around you that's going to try to stop that process. They may say things like, well, you think you're better than us, or I don't know why you're trying to learn all that stuff. Well, you have to tell them, I'm trying to learn it for me and my family and my generation, for my kids under me. So sometimes you have to separate yourself from those type of people in order for you to have a clear mind and a clear shift of your mindset.
I love it. And, I think another obstacle for people is thinking that if I do this and I budget and so forth, I won't be able to have a life. But that's not necessarily true, right?
No, that's not true. I mean, it's just a part of how you want your gratification to be. Some people want gratification now, and then some people rather wait till later. I've done it myself. I've said, no, I can't do it. No, I'm not going on this trip. No, because if I work hard, if I work smart now, when the time comes later, I really won't have to work as hard to get things done. But if I'm always saying yes and I'm always spending money and I always feel like I'm missing out, I'm not going to stick to it, and I'm going to be in the same situation in 10 years. So it's about how quickly you want your gratification.
I love that. Tae Lee, this has been an amazing conversation. For anyone listening to this today, they're totally inspired by what you're sharing. What's that kind of one thing you want to leave the listener with?
The one thing that I want to leave people with today is go out and learn how to build generational wealth and not generational debt. Just know that it takes time and it's a process, but if you continue at it and be consistent with it, you can get all the results that you want it to be so that you can be financially free.
I love it, Tae Lee. And where do we find out about you?
You
How
can
does somebody
find
get in contact with you? Sorry.
you can find us at taelee.money. So that's TAELEE.money. And on there, we also have a free gift for you to learn 5 ways to build generational wealth.
Love it. Thank you. This has been amazing. Thank you for being here. And I love what you shared.
All right. You have a great day. Thank you all for listening.
Hey, everyone. Remember to join us in the Private Financial Freedom Podcast Facebook group with me, your host, Lorna Poole. This is a safe haven of like-minded wealth-getting go-getters who, like you, are on their journey to creating financial freedom in their life. This is where you and I can get intimate. I can give you the support and guidance to go from where you are now to where you want to be, developing your wealth mindset and creating your financial freedom life. Join at www.facebook.com/groups The Financial Freedom Podcast. You will see the links to this on the website. It's in the show notes, or type it into the Facebook group. All you have to type in is Financial Freedom Podcast and you will see us there. Look forward to seeing you in the group. Take care. Thank you for joining us on the Financial Freedom Podcast to creating wealth, investing, and developing your money mindset. To get started today on your journey, head on over to www.lornapoole.com and grab your free course, 5 Steps to Breaking Free from Your Poverty Mindset and Accelerating Your Journey to Financial Freedom. See you there.